Hey, it's Drewz Viewz here, back to react to a little show I like to call Peaky Blinders. I like to call it that because that's what it's called. It's the name of the show. I'm on season 3, episode 4 this week, this edition of Drewz Viewz. And last time on, episode 3 of the season, well, Tommy Shelby not doing too hot right now. Didn't take the death of his beloved Grice, R.I.P., all that well. I mean, he could have taken it worse, I suppose, but, he kind of was shutting his family out and all that. He took a trip to Wales to get a little appraisal on that cursed sapphire, I think it was, the type of gem that it was. Not to be confused with my Steven Universe reactions here. But anyway, by the end of the episode, he was back wheeling and dealing, making moves with these Russians that he has to deal with now for the government, Churchill and all that. He's against this priest that apparently might be two-timing, working both sides of the fence. He wants to get the priest killed. They have beef. And yeah, he told the Duchess, I guess, who seems to basically be in charge, rather than her husband. And then, of course, their niece is really the one he's dealing with the most. She kind of made some comments at the end of the episode negatively toward Grace, which didn't go down too well with Tommy. But yeah, this plotline's certainly going to be going forward. He's got, he's helping them smuggle out some weapons and war machinery for the Russian Whites, I believe it is, against the Reds. So see where that goes this week. On the home front then, with his own family, like I said, he was shutting them out a little bit. He had separate meetings with Michael and Polly, and then with Arthur and John. That didn't go over so well with the latter two there, and there's a whole scene with them, the two brothers, and their cousin Michael, having him point a gun at them and stuff like that, saying, Tommy is saying he wants to separate business, or legitimate and illegitimate business, but it's hard to do with these gangster shows and movies and stuff. And I think Michael's gonna get going on some of this illegitimate stuff sooner rather than later, but we'll see. With his mom, Polly, then Aunt Paul, she still has her kind of suitor, this painter guy. We'll see where that's going. At first I thought he was maybe like a spy or something when he showed up. I guess it's still possible, and he could be a painter and a spy, or maybe it's just set up for a new relationship, love interest for Polly, I guess. What else had happened? Also, yeah, I guess with the old man, the old Italian boss guy that had led to Grace's death, which I guess the bullet was supposed to be meant for Tommy, he got taken out. Tommy's gonna torture him, but then Arthur just shot him to prevent him from doing that. And Arthur and John saved the guy's wife, which Tommy initially said he wanted her dead as well, even though she's completely innocent and the former school teacher. So Arthur, I think, he's definitely one of the best characters this season so far. He's trying to look out for his brother, even though Tommy does things that are bad for him, Arthur, all the time, and just basically uses him a lot. And he has a baby on the way. That's another thing that happened toward then, which it didn't seem like Tommy's too thrilled about, because it's going to give more influence, seemingly, to Arthur's woman. She's very Christian and all that. She's trying to kind of pull him away from what she's calling like the nighttime business. Nothing good's done at night, all that sort of thing. So I'm sure that's going to be a factor going forward the rest of the season. But anyway, that's a little recap. Let's get into season 3, episode 4. And I got a little wine here. Deer, elk, whichever creature that is. Guess it's hunting season. But who's the one gonna get hunted? What's it a metaphor for? It's this Shelby's doing. Rich folk shed like this now. Came a long way from the mean streets of Birmingham.
This letter says her dad's dead.
Oh, he hasn't come up in a while. Could be some scam or scheme, knowing him though, probably.
Shot twice.
Probably deserved it if it's true.
While he was dying, he asked for our forgiveness. The stag is to remember him. We eat, and then we forget him. Only to forgive him a grade. So his name dies. It's been in the family for a long time, but now it's gone.
What was his name again?
Right, that's done. Fucking. Because I don't trust the maids in the house.
Yeah, you shouldn't trust them after there's something under the kid's pillow a while back.
I wish to confess.
There's no confessional today.
The name's Shelby.
I do the things I do so that my son doesn't have to do them.
Well, might happen anyway.
Are you saying you took the life of a policeman?
This doesn't seem too smart here, Polly.
That he's going to be taken is a consecrated man.
Oh, the other priest. Yeah, no priests are supposed to not. I believe they're supposed to be confidential about whatever they hear, but I'm pretty sure that was a big misstep on Polly's part there.
A bloody 5 months gone.
Blowing some coke, 5 months pregnant. In the 1920s.
You've put it in wrong.
No, I haven't.
Your hands are shaking. And actually, I am sleeping with Tommy, okay? Now and then. Except we don't sleep, it's hard to sleep in over a desk, isn't it?
This is a shit show right now.
Tommy, should I really be here for this? I've cleared it with Polly, Michael. There's no way around it.
Alrighty, it's coming together. Legitimate and illegitimate.
The whole business will be like that stag hanging up over there, right, Tom?
See, Arthur's trying to figure out the metaphors too.
Part of the reason for doing this last job is so you'll be set up when you do decide to walk away.
As we know from movies and media, the one last job always works out. I feel like robbery is not normally their thing. Oh boy.
Arthur said he'd be sure
This
to
isn't
start
the right
with
person to be
Sarah.
coming into this scene right here.
Depends what time you get here, Linda.
Linda is a perfect name for like a goodie too. She is Christian or whatever.
He's bringing all the female workers in the spot welding and wire cutting shops out on strike for the day. A protest at being made to work on a holy day. All oppressed female workers welcome.
This seems like something Polly could get into. I wonder if there's any symbolism there, and like the space, like Polly was a little more spaced out than the other three. Might be a reach, but might mean something.
I'm told you're part of the deal, is that true?
Uh-oh. Is the desk gonna get another workout here?
It was my aunt's idea that I came along. She's in charge of this.
As we basically could tell already.
Polly jumped in the fucking ballroom. Pissed out of her mind, started going on about revolution, screaming to the rooftops.
Is Linda with them? You take Charlie, put him with Arthur and Linda for the night so they can use the practice.
Damn.
Mate, I told you, stay off the snow till the baby's born.
It's all gonna change, isn't it?
You drink whiskey?
No,
Vodka.
it tastes like man. I prefer wine. I swear she puts one of the biggest sapphires into her body for pleasure and walks up the stairs to breakfast with it still in place. I think I already know your weakness. I can show you what is possible for a man like you. Right now you hide inside it like a boy who's broken in through the window.
We could fuck by the fire with the maids standing to attention and watching, huh? What can they do?
Give it here.
Nothing.
So, old money, new money debate here.
You don't like something, you say stop and it stops. Hmm? But you're afraid of it. There's madness inside your head too, I can see that.
I emptied the chamber except for one bullet.
Russian roulette.
Give me that fucking thing.
Crazy.
I need to educate you on how to run a house like this.
Mary,
There.
go back to bed.
In an old house like this, the servants expect...
Mary, go back to bed. Do as I say.
She was like, oh, I wanted to watch the show.
It's freedom.
Look at that shirt he's rocking. Well, the suspenders kind of ruin it a bit.
What proof do you have that the priest is a spy?
I told you. I gave you my word.
Then kill him.
So will this priest survive the episode? The way things go at this show, it's like I've said before, it's pretty linear. Usually that's I expect to see him in the next few scenes here.
She took your car?
Why the hell would you listen to her, eh?
The way she said it, sir.
And you were giving speeches off the back of a wagon, Paul?
I can't remember a fucking thing.
So, separate lavatory. Is that it? Is that what you want?
They don't have that already?
You want to know about the robbery you're planning? Not the factory robbery. The other one. The one you're not telling the women about. Arthur told Linda. Linda told me. Keep us posted, won't you, sister?
I will.
But I can't trust Esme. I can't trust the fucking Russians to pay me what they owe me. And I can't trust my own brother to keep his fucking mouth shut.
There's a general lack of discipline in this fucking company.
In the grief, you make bad choices. I know. I did it myself. Did you tell Arthur about the priest?
I only told you.
Yeah, but you're the one who screwed that one up, Polly. You probably don't remember. Yep, there he is. You goofed, Paul.
Arthur believes when this business is done, it'll all be over. Arthur believes he, but I don't.
They'll not pay us as they've promised. So on the night of the robbery, we will take what is ours.
I see, that's what's going on.
25 from 150 is 125. A third of that is £41,000.
What about their uncle and stuff, though, right? I guess he doesn't want to do it.
But I don't imagine he'll accept less than 41.
May I smoke?
No. We want to run a general store on an Indian mission. The Americans invite Quakers to do good work with the Indian. The open air and the sun will get rid of all the nonsense in his head from France.
It's making me nervous about Arthur's chances for survival to the end of the season.
So far, you haven't even picked up the bloody lead. That's the look. Imperious. No man is good enough.
Assuming our man here has some plan to avoid the assassination. Well, they're gonna keep him alive because they need him still, obviously. This is definitely a fuck up. What was that? Something broke, it sounded like. Couldn't tell what. Not sure why I would have tried to do it himself. I guess he really just hates the guy who wanted to do it, but or didn't think he could trust anyone else. But
How were you attempting to kill Father Hughes?
Passing information. Fuck. He knows.
so was the other guy in on it too?
Fuck you.
I am passing on information to the Soviet embassy on the instruction of Section D. It's part of a bigger picture. You do as we say, or we will take yours home. We have people in your life.
Well, that's a hard L right there for Thomas.
I need you to speak to one of your comrades and get me a meeting with someone from the Soviet embassy. Tonight.
Mr. Shelby was given bad information by an informant.
Really don't know what's gonna happen here. Even Tommy's getting on the Tokyo now. Good face by that maitre d' actor.
I've come here to apologize.
As your penance, I would like you to recite it now, in the presence of our associates.
I wonder what they injected him with.
Father Hughes, I'm heartily sorry for having offended you.
It's getting complicated.
That's the gun. Because my family are the ones who will be sacrificed. We just had to blow up the train.
Okay, so I guess it was the beating, not whatever they injected him with.
Except for you, Dad.
I couldn't quite understand what he said at the end there. Something about his dad, like except for you, Dad, son. But I didn't hear what he said before that, so kind of missed that. But okay, I liked that episode. I'm still rooting for Tommy ultimately, and I certainly want him to get the better of this damn priest. But at the same time, I did kind of like seeing him take a little bit of an L here. You know, because his actions cause problems for other people like Arthur and his whole family and everyone else. It is good to see that he's fallible as well, even though in this particular case it was Polly's fault what happened ultimately. But so just to say, like, it's good to see him down a little bit from time to time. And then internal bleeding, if he has that, that's pretty fucked. But what I was gonna say, even though Polly made the mistake there, I guess it actually ultimately would be beneficial as long as they get out of it alive here, because before that he didn't know that the British government just wants, I guess, the act to be committed on soil, wants the Soviets to know about the robbery so that they can break off relations or whatever they said there. And I guess, yeah, the Shelbys sacrificed or whatnot, so I guess it was actually a good thing, even though it was pretty sloppy of her, and we didn't even really get the chance to see. I mean, it was all messed up anyway. We didn't get the chance to see if you realized that's what happened or not, you know, that it was her. But anyway, so that episode was a lot about the women. I would say that the female characters really had the forefront of that. You know, Tommy, the last kind of third, I guess, was Tommy related mostly, but other than that, I'd say the women really took that episode over. And you have the whole thing with, well, this is the most we've really seen, I suppose, of Linda, you know, at least in terms of what her impact, and, you know, I already could tell that she had a big impact over Arthur here, and Tommy's worried about it. Now we find, well, first she pushed the women into doing that, you know, the strike with the other women in the city. Then later she tells Tommy what's up with their plans with Arthur and that he should be getting the equal money and whatnot. I'm still a little confused by that because like, it was a split 3 days between the brothers, but at the scene earlier, I guess they were telling his uncle and some other people too there, but I guess that means they weren't. It's just gonna be the 3 of them doing that robbery. I'm not sure how that would make sense otherwise, unless the number she was saying was just this, discounting that and just the split between the 3 of them. First, I was confused as well about why they're planning a robbery, because that's not really their MO. But then it's revealed that it's because Tommy thought he was going to get screwed over, not getting paid for it by the Russians. But now we know it's even worse what the plans were. Now I'm assuming that the Duke, Duchess, all that don't know about. They think the robbery is going to be successful. They obviously don't know what the priest, Oddfellows of society, or whatever, if that's what it is, or you know, what the government in general, the British government's trying to do. That's revealed at the end there. But Esme got a lot of time this episode. There's a little bit of Lizzie stuff, you know, the 3 of them together, and then with Linda coming in, and then also a lot of the Duchess, whose name I don't know still. I guess I probably should, but you know, the niece, I'll just call her. She's a little crazy in the head, but at the same time, showing Tommy, I guess, the difference between someone with authority based on, I think, like I was saying before, old money versus new money, which is kind of where it is. Even I was kind of thinking that before that whole scene, just the beginning with showing them hunting, and I was saying, like, oh, it's so different now from growing up Birmingham and all that. Now they're doing rich people stuff, which they really can do, but they don't understand it still. And then the maid later is saying, you know, even the maid was getting a little time. Mary, I think her name was, so. But she's saying, you know, or he said, why did you follow her orders? Because the way she said it, I think, was the gist. Showing the difference between, yeah, I guess that kind of old aristocracy style influence you have on people, or how you live your life, versus the newer, nouveau riche, or whatever it's called. But so it's interesting, and the Russian roulette thing is a little I guess a little on the nose for a Russian, but yeah, she's definitely has a screw loose or two, but at the same time, it's interesting to see, again with Tommy, I was saying I'd like to see him getting a little comeuppance here and there, and he got it a little bit with her too. She doesn't treat him like most people do, you know, she's not kowtowing to him, even though she's ultimately sleeping with him at the behest of her aunt or whatever, but she's doing things her way. And then with Linda, again, also not kowtowing, obviously, to Tommy, directly opposing him, and even the little thing where he's like, can I smoke here? She says no, so it's good. I like seeing this whole sort of thing. Now, about their whole plan, Linda and Arthur's plan, apparently, to go to California, all that, I just don't see it happening, you know. Do this last job, do this, like, I'm honestly, the way things are going, I'm very nervous for Arthur here. Hope he doesn't die, but I can easily see it happening this season. It just seems to be going that direction. I guess something could happen to her and he goes off the wagon again and all that. It could go that direction as well, but I don't know here. And then, what else? So, I was noting also when the four women walked out in that whole scene, a very classic Peaky Blinders shot with the camera, like their center camera walking down an alley or whatever it is. I did notice that Polly was like, they were all arm in arm, but there was like a big gap of space between Polly and the other three, and I was like thinking, is that symbolic? I'm sure it is. What could that be? Thinking about it more, I think it's that there really is a difference between her and the other women. She's kind of already, look, she's still a woman in the society. She doesn't have the rights men do still and the respect, but at the same time, she has a lot more of that than most other female characters we've seen, especially in regards to Esme and these other women here that work for the company as well. Tommy's essentially a right-hand woman. Arthur, to some extent, is in terms of doing the dirty work, but she is for the plotting and everything. And again, we saw it was her screw-up this time that led to everything, with the confession, with being drunk and all that. But so she's already on, like, and even like she tells the woman when he's coming in the next day or whatever, like, I'll get the scoop from him and deliver it back to you, whatever. So she's already removed a little bit in a sense in that way. Also, she's a little bit of an older generation as well. That's removing her from the other ones. And we even saw that she was kind of making it, again, being drunk and whatever, but she was apparently making a little bit of a joke of things and even joking about it the next day. When I'm sure most of the women there are being trying to do a very serious thing, get more rights and everything like that. And they're saying something about separate lavatories and whatever. I'm kind of surprised they didn't have that already back in those times. I mean, I never really thought about something like that before, I guess, but that was so surprising to me. I don't know exactly what what they were doing, but anyway, yeah. So with Big Polly episode again there, and we see her again with her painter friend and all that, and that's another way she's removed. Like, she already has like high status like that, so. With that regal look or whatever he said, the imperious look or whatever the word he used for the photo. So I would assume those two are going to be getting down here, and I still wonder if there's anything more to him, or it's just, filling her. He's just there to fill her character out more, but we shall see. But again, yeah, thought it was a good episode. Definitely want some big action next time, which I think we're going to get. See how Tommy wiggles his way out of this one. It's going to involve the communists, it looks like. Precarious position he's in, putting everyone else in as well. But I'm excited to see it. I love seeing how they get out of it, how characters and shows get out of situations like this. Good stuff. And yeah, I will be back next time for Season 3, Episode 5 of Peaky Blinders. And until that time, I'm up out of here. Peace.